In today's video, I will show you 3 ways in which you can use wood rungs from the Dollar Tree to create beautiful home decor on a budget. Let's get crafting. For this project, I will be using one of these wood rungs from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use that circle as well, and I will not use those beads. I ended up changing those over. First, I took the 2 pieces, I removed that hanger and painted it with 2 coats of my Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint. Once both pieces dried, I'm going to take these beads that I got from Walmart, and I'm going to take a selection of 3 beads in the natural color and 3 browns. And I'm going to do this pattern until I go all the way around the entire wood round. Once I was satisfied with the placement, I'm going to glue them down using some Tide Bond. And once I was done with the bottom section, I'm going to add some Tide Bond to the top as well. Then I took the round frame and placed them right on top of the beads. I wanted to make sure that it was nicely glued, so I'm going to take this piece from Dollar Tree and put it right on top of it. It's just to hold it in place, and I'm going to put some weight. I'm using 4 cans of my paint over it, and I'm going to let it sit overnight. Then I took 4 of these cubes from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to create a mixture to paint them. I painted it with some of this brown oxide with a little bit of water, and I also added some burnt amber. I'm trying to create like a darker stain, but it has like a touch of red to it. I kept adding some of the burnt amber until I got to my desired tone. Then I'm going to give a nice coat to all 4 of the pieces using this mixture. I wanted them to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to take some of my antique wax from Waverly and add a thin coat on top of them as well. Next day, once everything dried, I'm going to flip over my piece, and I'm going to use a combination of wood glue and hot glue to attach the cubes to the 4 corners at the bottom of my tray. And I just stamped the bottom using my website stamp, lollydscreations.com. My friend, if you enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to leave it a big thumbs up. And while you're there, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and make sure that you also hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you each time that I upload a new video. All these things are free and they mean the world to me. Once this was nicely secured, I took it outside and sealed it with some clear sealant, and that is it for this one. Look how cute this turned out. You let me know what you think. I love this piece. My friend, today's video is part of the Wood Round or Wreath Wednesday that is hosted monthly by my friend Audia from DIY with Audia and myself, Lolly from Lolly's Creations. The links to their channels and to the fun playlist will be linked in the description box below and also pinned in the comments. Make sure that you head on over to the channels and to the playlist and show everyone some love. For the next inspiration, I'm going to be using one of these wood rounds as well. I remove its hanger, and I'm going to take some Mod Podge and put a generous amount on the entire front. Now it's time to use some of this burlap that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to place it right over the entire surface. I'm going to try to flatten it as best as I can. And using a brush, I will be adding more Mod Podge to the top as well. I was very generous with it, just making sure to have the entire fabric saturated on it to avoid any lifting, and at the same time protect the finished project. Once most of the Mod Podge was dry, I cut off all the excess burlap off the edges. And because I had no more time to waste, I'm going to use my heat gun to dry the rest of it. In the meantime, I'm going to take this and paint it with 2 coats of my linen white chalk paint. And I'm also going to cover it with a coat of Mod Podge. But while that was happening, I am drying my piece. I wanted to get going here, and it was taking a long time for that Mod Podge to dry. Another alternative will be to use fabric tack instead, and that might be a bit more cost effective. Then I took this small round that I got from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to remove that hanger using my staple remover, and I'm going to remove the tag as well and add a generous amount of hot glue to the back of it and glue it to the very center of the burlap round. Then I added some Tide Bond to all the edges of the burlap round. I left spaces in between because I'm going to come into those spaces with a bit of hot glue to have that short-term hole until the Tide Bond dries. I had a little bit of glue seep through the edges, but I just took a skewer and removed those. Then I took some jute cord, added some beads to it, added a nice knot to each end, and I'm going to add a nice amount of hot glue to the inside of the little hole, and I'm going to stuff the little knot right into that. And then I'm going to bring the beads that it will touch the top section of the round, and then add another knot to the other end and repeat the same process of just adding that knot to that hole once I added hot glue to it. I was a bit tempted to put some greenery in this round, but I love the way that it came out so nice and simple. So that is it for this one. Let me know what you think. For the next inspiration, I will be using a wreath form and a wood round. First, I'm going to start with this wreath form, and I'm going to use this garland that I got on clearance from Hobby Lobby. It was 90% off, so I paid $1 for it. I removed that hanger, and I'm going to tie one of the ends to the frame, and I'm going to loop the rest through, just wrapping the garland around the entire wreath form until it was completely covered. Once I got to the end that both ends of the garland met each other, I just took 2 pieces and put them in between the brackets and then tied them to each other to secure it in place. And then I just fluffed the rest of the garland around to cover up the wreath form as much as possible. And I flipped this wreath form to its belly and weeded all the pieces of fabric through the brackets so they will all be in the face of the wreath form. Then I flipped it over right side up, and I'm going to go ahead and fluff and stretch and just make everything nice and symmetrical in its own way because it is a crazy bow wreath form here. So I'm just making sure that all the spaces are covered, that you're not seeing much of that wire, that all of my pieces are towards the outside perimeter of the wreath form rather than the inside, because we are going to use this wood round that we got from Dollar Tree that has these beautiful sunflowers. And what I did is remove that tag. I removed the hanger off of one of the sides. I knotted one of the sides very close to the end of the rope and cut off any excess, so it will be a nice clean knot at the end. Then I'm going to let that loop through the hole, and it's going to hold this in place. And then I use the other side and looped it through 2 other brackets at the back of the wreath form. And then I'm going to loop that to the back of the wood round and back into the hole. You'll see here in a second exactly what I mean. You'll see how I'm looping it. I am doing it on the right side of the bracket, and then I'm coming in through the left side of the other bracket, that piece that's vertical so it will hold it in place. And then I added a little bit of hot glue to the end of the jute cord, and using my fingers I just made it pointy. Don't do that. Just use a piece of finger protectors. I have no more feeling on my little thumb, so don't worry about it. So here I'm just going to make sure that it's nicely tight, and I'm going to do a double knot over that hole to make sure it doesn't go through. But just to secure everything in place, I also added a little bit of hot glue to that hole to secure it. I trimmed off that excess jute cord as well, and we are going to give this a final fluff before it is all done. So I'm just stretching everything out, trying to have even the amount of burlap and buffalo check here and there, trying to deal with this crazy hair. And that is it for this one. You let me know what you think. And here we are with the final reveal. Don't forget to let me know which one of these is your favorite. My friends, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you would like to follow me on social media, here are my social media links. And don't forget to visit my friends in the playlist. If you would like to watch some more of my videos, here's a suggestion, and you are more than welcome to binge away with this playlist as well. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. You're amazing. Bye.